Yes, we are on.
Hi, Sam. Can you tell that you are going to have another session for America, North America, and South America on opening of intermediary days? Because
Sure, I'm gonna
it's
let
kind of different.
in the end.
Okay.
Okay, we can start now. Or?
Yes,
Yeah, we can start now.
excellent. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Open Innovation Panel for TEKTiTE 2024. We are very pleased to be working with our partners in TEKTiTE Korea, an organization that promotes open innovation. And I have to say, I had the most wonderful experience working with you guys for the past 2 years and working very closely with Heisa over here. Really looking forward to hearing from our distinguished guests about their work, about the organizations, about the idea of open innovation, how to do it right, what's the meaning. We've been hearing this buzzword for quite a few years now. We want to understand from you guys the meaning of the buzzwords, what's the place of organizations and companies promoting open innovation around the world. I will start with a brief introduction to our organization, the Federation of Israeli Chambers of Commerce. So chambers of commerce traditionally are not considered as organizations that promote open innovation, busy reinventing themselves to the modern world, which is why the FICC prides itself in promoting traditional industries as well as more modern tech industries as well. Just to give you a brief update about the organization and what we do. So the FICC is quite an old organization established in 1919, the umbrella organization for the regional chambers of commerce in Israel. We are a non-profit entity, non-government entity. We work very closely with the government to promote regulation that actually encourages the trade with Israel and our international partners and fight excessive regulation to promote the ease of doing business. We have three main pillars of activity: promoting legislation, lowering trade barriers, and so on the macro level, working with government agencies, government offices, and so on. We represent sectors, over 80 sectors of industries, from construction to manpower to agri-tech, seeds, you name it, in front of decision makers. And last but not least, we are a service providers. We have, as Israel's largest trade and business organizations, we have thousands of companies in Israel that we provide services to. These services go all the way from providing counseling on legal issues, taxation, customs, legality of import. We are the consortium leading the TEKTiTE certificates in Israel. We have an excellent business intelligence division providing leads and lists of potential partners for our members. And last but not least, we provide services in international business development, helping our clients succeed in international markets. We open doors for them through partnerships like the one we have with TEKTiTE Korea, government agencies, chambers of commerce, export institutes, and so on. We exchange business opportunities. Our main purpose, just like many other participants, I think all the participants here in today's panel, to promote business partnerships between our companies and companies around the world. We do it through webinars, seminars, hosting delegations, and mostly exchanging business opportunities, arranging meetings between potential partners from Israel and abroad. We are also happy to serve as your point of contact in Israel. If you are seeking partnerships in Israel, if you have companies, clients who are seeking to enter the Israeli market, or for our importers and retailers, we also seek opportunities to find suppliers, manufacturers, and mainly partners for open innovation, joint ventures, and so on. The FICC is also the consortium lead for the EEN, the Enterprise Europe Network, which TEKTiTE Korea is also a member of, as many other organizations that we work with. And just before I finish the brief introduction of the FICC, I would like to encourage the members of the panel and the audience to make use of our business opportunity platform. we enable companies to connect with Israeli companies according to their ad hoc offers to concurrent opportunities. And more than that, we allow foreign companies to post their offers on our system, again, in order to encourage the bilateral trade between Israel and our friendly countries around the world. We can provide foreign companies a chance to be exposed to the Israeli market. We lead seminars and presentations on the Israeli market and different opportunities. We can help you guys with our business data center, and of course promote meetings, accompany the meetings, accompany the relationship, and do whatever we can to promote these partnerships for our members. You're welcome to get in touch later on through LinkedIn, through my email, and I will leave it at that. So before we move on to our first speaker from India, just a general outline for the distinguished members of the panel. We've been hearing the words open innovation for around 5 to 10 years, depending how deep you are on the trends of the market. Open innovation are words that different companies, different entities have decided to adopt, sometimes to make them sound more modern and relevant for the tech world and tech industries, and sometimes because they have actual value to offer companies, to offer the industries around the world in order to promote their innovation, promote the adoption of new innovation. And last but not least, we see, not to get too political, but there are geopolitical challenges around the world when it comes to trade, supply chains, geopolitical challenges in terms of security, and manpower is becoming an increasing challenge in many industries. We'd like to think that open innovation can help companies, organizations, countries tackle these challenges by finding new technological solutions and again promoting partnerships between the organizations. With that in mind, I would like to introduce our first speaker today from GBI India, Mr. Harsha Lingam, who will tell us a bit about the organization, and then we'll open it to Q&A and move to the next speaker, of course. Please, Mr. Lingam, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you so much, Shor. Pleasure to be here. And thank you for Delta Tech Korea for giving us this opportunity. Just sharing my screen. I hope everybody can see my screen.
Good.
Great. Yeah. My name is Harsha Lingam. Like I mentioned, I'm from Global Business Inroads. We are based in India. We do have operations in Europe, in UK, in the USA. We've done a lot of projects across Africa and Southeast Asia as well. So we are almost a 14-year-old organization. We primarily focus on technology and innovation management. We believe in scaling technology and providing market access, both in and out of India as well. We have primarily worked on sectors related to the UN SDGs, so climate action, clean tech, biotechnology, healthcare, life sciences. And of course, due to the whole COVID era, we've been working a lot on digital transformation as well. We have supported close to about 200 plus institutions, SMEs, corporates, government bodies, and startups in various capacities. So we work with organizations individually as well as in cohorts. We kind of bring together, the entire technology deployment ecosystem. So we look at working with, technology startups, companies, SMEs. We bring together technology adopters through various programs. So we work with corporates, utilities, city governments. We do a lot of work in open innovation and technology deployment. We work with, helping building ecosystems as well. So we bring together governments, technology clusters, research and development organization, accelerators, incubators, investors, and trade promotion agencies as well. How do we do this? So basically, we have developed a few tools that we use to manage our entire work and our programs. We have something called as the technology management interface, which basically starts from something as basic as, just understanding the market, doing market research, to, localizing technologies in the Indian market. So we also provide support in terms of, helping companies with identifying potential partners, suppliers. How do we look at localizing business models? So given that India, it's a very, diverse market, So we do a lot of work with international companies, helping them manage their business models as well as localizing their supply chains as well. We also have two other platforms called the Global Technology Interface, which is an online platform. Basically, we use this platform to showcase technologies and innovations globally. It's a free to access platform right now. So we have a whole database of technology companies as well as market opportunities on this platform. The platform also, we use this platform for open innovation calls as well. We have so far, I think, done close to about 30 plus open innovation calls for corporates, for governments, for NGOs across various sectors, including biodiversity, clean tech, IoT, energy, waste management, biomedical waste management, biotechnology. So we've done work with the European Union, the Indian government, the US, across different geographies as well. And we also set up another program called the Global Technology Experience Center. Basically, this is another initiative of ours where we thought, like, once you see a technology and you know how it works, that then the adoption cycle becomes easier. So this is basically like a kind of like a living lab. Basically, we want to support companies who want to demonstrate their technologies and adopt them to local conditions. So we understand the complexities of technology transfer, because there are a lot of different elements that you need to look into to localize, based on use cases in India. So we've set up this experience center to help companies demonstrate technologies. We also have a help desk called the GTI help desk. So basically, again, this is a platform where companies or SMEs can reach out to us to get basic information as well as in-depth services about internationalization and market access. So today, basically, I want to focus on some of the companies that we've been working with in the clean tech sector. So we have a few requests by Indian SMEs and conglomerates, as well as a few offers. So basically, this is an example of one of India's largest commercial vehicle manufacturers. And they are, based across the globe, and one of the largest manufacturers of commercial vehicles, buses, and trucks. And they have basically understood that EV is it's not, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So they believe in diversifying their portfolio in the automotive sector as well. So they're not fully betting on EV, like I think the whole world has kind of realized that. So they're looking at any kind of technologies related to fuel economy improvement, CO2 emission reduction, innovative exhaust after treatment systems, multi-fuel combustion engines. They're looking for hybrid kinetic energy recovery systems. They're looking at any kind of innovations in EVs and fuel cells, FCEVs as well. Looking at battery life monitoring, predicting algorithms. So they're very, very interested. I mean, they're very, very open to deploying solutions. So if there's any technologies related to these sectors, we'd be more than happy to reach out to them and connect them for business deployment and actual deployment in the Indian market as well. This is another example of a hydrogen company. So they are one of India's largest, or the most innovative fuel cell technology electrolyzer company. Basically, they're kind of looking at, they do, they produce fuel cells for stationary and mobility applications. So they're looking for any innovative processes or technologies that can bring down the cost of fuel cells and electrolyzer manufacturing in India. They are an OEM as well. They do EPC, and they're looking to collaborate with European as well as any global counterparts as well. They deal in products with hydrogen, sustainable aviation fuel, methanol, ammonia, and they're looking to collaborate across the globe with different partners in the hydrogen production sector as well. I also want to share a couple of offers by some of our clients that we're working with, again, in the waste to energy sector. So these guys have basically patented a catalytic thermal depolymerization process that converts waste to energy. They basically can convert any kind of waste, plastics, tires, municipal solid waste, into, energy, and basically they are a fully commercial technology. They are, been around for the last 10 years. They also have operations in other parts of the world, and they are looking for partners globally to kind of, expand and scale their business globally. They have, a rich R&D experience for over 30 years, in biomass, coal gasification, briquetting, and combustion and pyrolysis as well. Another example basically is another Indian SME that is offering a pressure reducing turbine that can be used in industrial boilers to basically generate electricity as a byproduct. So basically, this is a very, innovative technology. Again, it's a patented technology that has been developed indigenously in India. It can be retrofitted to any kind of boilers in the industry, in the industrial sector, and convert that waste heat that is coming out into energy. So basically, they can handle large variations in the steam, the boilers. They have an IoT controlled, system. So it's, again, they are looking for, partners as well as opportunities to expand globally. So if there's anybody interested here in wanting more information about this organization, they can reach out to us as well. So with that, yeah, I think I'm just keeping it short. So yeah, we are very interested, in working with other organizations. So as everybody knows, India is also right now, I think, third largest startup ecosystem in the world. So we're looking to collaborate with any kind of partners who are interested in sourcing technology. So we have very, very good networks in India as well as globally to look at, open innovation challenges. So like I said, through our platform as well, we're doing a lot of work. Very soon, we're going to be launching calls, focused on EV battery and battery recycling technologies. Again, this will be like a open call where we will support close to about 12 companies who are looking for market access as well as opportunities to deploy the solutions in the EV and the battery recycling space as well. So with that, I'll stop here. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to take them.
Thank you, Harsha. That was very concise and very helpful. I have to say that what I like most about this type of presentations is the honest invitation to cooperate with other organizations. In the field of international business, we find a lot of people who wish to sell and fewer people who wish to buy. And somewhere in between, there are people who wish to cooperate. And I see Mrs. Song Ho Lee from TEKTiTE Korea nodding in agreement. I'm sure it's something that we all share. My question, Mr. Harsha, India is such a large country with so many needs, so many offers, so many opportunities. My question is, how do you decide on which sectors to focus on?
So, I mean, India is definitely, growing, and there's a lot of demand for, technologies across different sectors. So it's very, very hard to pinpoint, specifically, what is the best, in terms of the technology or, the opportunity or the market demand. There is space for everything and anything, but it's just, how you navigate and find the right partners to help you get to the right partners in India as well. So, yeah.
That's great. Thank you. And I ask you say another thing, again, because India is such an attraction to so many businesses and organizations around the world, when you do your job, your work proactively, how do you decide, how do you prioritize, let's put it that way, which markets to approach, which countries you are looking to find more, what we refer to as power multiplying partners, stakeholders? How do you choose if you find partners in Korea or in the Czech Republic or in Hungary?
So, I mean, we do rely on a lot of our networks that we have developed. So obviously, we're also a member of Enterprise Europe Network. So we rely on EEN. But we also have, over the last 14 years, built up very good networks across the globe. And we primarily use a lot of our, let's say, social media as well as our newsletter and various other tools to reach out to people. And I mean, the other thing is there is always, a lot of interest of incoming requests as well. Also given the, the huge opportunity that India is presenting as a market right now. So we really don't have to, spend too much effort on the outreach, because there's a lot of, people wanting to come into India, and there's a lot of competition as well. So if you're looking at, like, let's say the EV space, so there is a lot of competition from countries across the globe who want to, target that market within India. So there's a lot of competition as well. So, we need to kind of, understand, who has the best value. And you also need to understand that India also is now innovating quite a bit internally as well. So there's a lot of competition in the market. So it just doesn't mean just because you have a technology that's developed somewhere else that India also has that, capability right now. So there's a lot of competition in the market as well in India right now.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Mr. Mogyorossi, do you have a question for Mr. Harsha?
More a comment. So it was a very exciting presentation, and we would be very happy to cooperate with you in the future, because I think we have a couple of matching activities, as you will see later on in my presentation. Yeah. But there is one direct topic. You mentioned one technology offer, one company working with waste to value technologies. Yep. Just yesterday, we had a company visiting us, providing a very interesting waste to value technology, pyrolysis. And so I think there might be some direct cooperation opportunities between your clients and our clients. So I would be very happy to further discuss this specific topic, as well as more general cooperation.
Sure, great. Thanks. Thank you so much, Peter.
Excellent. The event is already fruitful, Heisa. Already new partnerships are being formed through the panel. Well done. We would like to move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is all the way from Spain, from Innoget, Mr. Jordi Rafols. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, well, hello to everyone. And yeah, thanks to TEKTiTE. I see some friendly faces here on the call, so I'm super excited to be part of this event. Let me share my screen. Let's see if I can do it correctly and run my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, but not in presentation mode.
Okay. Okay, here it goes.
Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes, brief introduction about myself. My name is Jordi Rafols, based in Barcelona, in Spain, Europe, acting as CEO at Innoget and being one of the co-founders of the company. I mean, before start talking about Innoget as such and giving you an overview about where are we coming from, where are we at this moment, and where are we heading to in the space of open innovation, I would like to kind of share my view on the overall open innovation ecosystem, right? And how is this ecosystem being kind of revamped recently? I think one of the main challenges that economies and society are facing are due to an increasing number of technologies reaching out the market, and we live in an economy which is driven by new technology, right? So that means that the power of speed and connection is playing a strategic role for many organizations from the public and private sectors. So if we look back into open innovation intermediaries 20 years ago, when the term open innovation was coined by Henry Chesbrough, the way we see it now is that the actors in that space, so we as intermediaries, as facilitators, we should play 5 different specific roles, right? So, and these roles are basically those that you can summarize by adding all the first letters on these roles, and you can get the word chaos, right? Which are communicate, connect, open access, analysis, and social, right? So meaning that it's like we all understand that the more we connect with others and the more that we communicate the opportunities, the better for developing new solutions and to bring new technology into the market. That's super important. The more we do it in an open way, the better, the faster, and the more value that we will be able to share among different stakeholders. There are many different stakeholders that are taking an important role in this process. The better we can analyze the opportunities ahead of us, the more efficient that all the process would become, right? And there we have lots of new technologies in the digital space that are helping us to better understand where the future might be heading to. And the more we do it in a kind of a social way and building communities and connecting those communities, the faster we will get and we will solve the global challenges related to sustainability, circular economy, security, geopolitical issues. So I think that our role today has become more and more important than it was once this term open innovation was coined 20 years ago. I hope you will all share this view, right? And I understand you both. And after this meeting, we will have opportunities to collaborate in that field. So just talking a little bit about Innoget. Innoget is an open innovation agency located in Barcelona with a subsidiary in the US. Our mission is, as you can see on the screen, to provide fairly democratized access to open science and knowledge, to create new value for society through flexible and trustful collaborations, contributing to sustainable future. It means that for us, values are super important there. We believe in global, in being fair, transversal, in trust, in being flexible and honest. That these are the values that drives our activities and our team. We believe in the power of people and team in this world of digital. In terms of our history, we were one of the pioneers in the open innovation space from the private sector to move into the digital to foster collaboration among different stakeholders from the industry and from the academia. We launched our first let's say platform, open innovation platform for matchmaking back in 2004. And since then, we have been developing our business model in a way that we are offering today three main pillars. One pillar, we call it Connect. It's based on crowdsourcing, right? And there, we offer free access to our proprietary open innovation community that you can access through innoget.com. I will show you some figures about this community. It's a global one, transversal. We like to foster collaboration among different industries, different geographies, from experts and people from different domains of knowledge. This community, we like to place it in a community of communities. So we run an Open Innovation Global Alliance. You are all invited. We have been partnering with some of the guys here in the call. I know Peter for a while, and also Mr. Lee. And on top of that, we also support and organize online and on-site events, always with the idea to foster collaboration, co-development, and join projects in the space of R&D and innovation. That's the Connect piece based on crowdsourcing. Then the second pillar is, we call it the Match one. This is the more proactive matchmaking part of the value proposition that we offer to our stakeholders. It means that we run active technology scouting for corporates, but not only for corporates, but also for government agencies. Just for instance, we are official vendors of the NASA Open Innovation Program, which is one of the largest funded, publicly funded open innovation programs in the world. We do also provide tailor-made online portals for some corporates, so helping them to communicate better what they are doing and to invite the external stakeholders to approach them. We run tailor-made challenge programs, open innovation challenge programs, startup competitions. In this tailor-made pillar, we do also offer market intelligence, technology trend, market and technology landscaping solutions. So these are the new elements that we like to bring into the open innovation space. So in there, we use digital technologies based on natural language processing, machine learning, artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT and many others, in a very kind of curated way. So there's a lot of noise around these topics today, but we have been partnering with other vendors in the space to provide really added value solutions to better manage innovation portfolios and opportunities. And the third pillar, we call it the standout, which is the consulting piece, where we, in today's environment, of course, we are focusing a lot on how to leverage the power of AI to provide better innovation management processes and solutions for our clients. We do also have a program for innovation accelerator, we call it. And we also like to focus on the creation of innovation ecosystems. We believe a lot on innovation ecosystems at the end, as we have already listened from the previous two speakers. Just in terms of numbers, on the network piece here at InnoGate, we run a global community of more than 200,000 members, as you can see here, from 180 different countries. We usually kind of offer more than 500 opportunities, business opportunities from multiple sectors: energy, mobility, oil and gas, agri-food, you name it, right? From companies that really embrace the power of collaboration with external parties on a regular basis and in a strategic approach. We do also offer technology owners to promote technologies through the networks, so pushing technologies into the market, which is super challenging, as we all know here. So it's a two-sided kind of community, and there it's open access, so anyone can join. And this is, as I said at the beginning, part of this concept of building a community of communities. So I would like, after this event, to reconnect with all of you guys and see how can we leverage our communities and opportunities coming from different places in the world. These are just some kind of logos, brands we all know and we all have. Just also to show you that we like to work with many different stakeholders, right? From science and technology parks, incubators, accelerators, startup communities, economic promotion agencies, large corporations, universities, cluster organizations. So at the end of the day, yeah, based on our value proposition, we can also always offer some kind of very directed solution for them to move into that space of collaboration, which is very challenging for many of them because it demands a lot of kind of embracing change and changing the mindset to make it happen in an efficient way. So just to finalize my presentation, I'm not going to go in deep onto these opportunities, but just to show you some of the opportunities that you can find in our network at innogate.com. So for you to see the diversity of opportunities that we like to bring. So this is a technology offer from Kyoto University in the healthcare space. We have another one from Georgetown University, also in the healthcare sector, combining solutions based on digital. We have another one from South Africa, also in the space of healthcare. So at the end of the day, you can find more than 6,000 opportunities from a technology push perspective, right? Also another one from Alberta University. And on the market pool approach, yeah, we work with different corporates, global companies like P&G. They have been engaged with InnoGate for a while already. They like to share opportunities on technologies and partners that they look for. And they are all available in an open way, in a platform where intellectual property is protected, where we take care about confidentiality and privacy issues. So that's one from P&G. We have another one here from PepsiCo. Again, we have been partnering with PepsiCo for a while. In that case, in the space of natural colors for foods and beverage, but they are very active in topics related to circularity, packaging, and as you can imagine, many others. Also, to mention that for us, privacy and trust is super important. We also like to engage with companies that initially they don't want to disclose who they are, but they get our support in moving forward in setting up collaborations. In this case, this is one of the leading companies in their industry looking for a specific technology for metallic coatings. So yeah, I mean, the message that I would like to give here is like, I think we all embrace open innovation and collaboration the same way. So you are all more than invited to connect and to keep this conversation and finding ways for mutual cooperation. And with that, again, thanks Delta Tech for setting up this amazing event every year. And yeah, happy to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raffles, for the very interesting presentation. I'm holding myself back from asking questions about the tech offers and the opportunities. I have to say that the ones we've heard so far from your organizations and from our friends in India were fascinating. Jody, if you can just close the presentation, the sharing.
Sure,
Thank you. We are a bit short on time already, but I'll just ask you a very brief question because you touched on it. How do you see briefly, because all of us here are private enterprises, how do you see the role of government in promoting or fostering or engaging with open innovation?
Yeah, that's a good question and very relevant. I mean, thanks for the question. I think it's super important. It's key in facilitating those connections. I mean, not only on a kind of diplomacy or economic aspect, but also in terms of paradiplomacy, right? More regional governments, cities as well. So the concept of smart cities fostered by governments and the public sector is super important. And not only regarding the financing, right, in terms of supporting financing, but also fostering mobility, right, and setting up frameworks for collaboration in terms of what you mentioned at the beginning, mobility of people, right? So allowing knowledge to move from one region to the other. And knowledge is not only, as we all know, based in a form of a patent or a technology itself, but also about the people, right? So allowing these transactions and this mobility and this cultural interchange is super important. We have been kind of experiencing this a lot in the European Union. It's not easy, right? But we are getting there, right? So we can always criticize, but the role of the European Commission and the European Union in fostering such a kind of collaborative environment, I think it's something that some other regions can mirror and have can get as an example.
Thank you, Jody. I couldn't agree more. I think there's a double-edged sword when it comes to government. Some of us want the fostering, but aren't willing to accept the limitations. And it's something that the private and public sector have to work on together. Please, Faisal.
Hello, Jordi. I have a question. So I was watching your presentation. It's very impressive. Thank you. And I was curious, how do you engage with your open innovation partners?
Well, I think thanks for the question. It's a matter of time and building relationships, right? So as you have seen on the presentation, we run a community, an online one, which is running nicely and it's growing organically, but there's so many out there. So we like to make connections on the online side constantly, but it's a lot about traveling, about meeting people face to face, about making friends and partners along our journey, being honest and sharing those opportunities in a fair way, I would say, right? So I really believe in the power of collaboration, in the power of being open and democratization of getting access to knowledge. And that's super important because we all know that when working in innovation, it's super difficult to implement processes. There are multiple ways of creating impact. And this always happen because of you can kind of match people with technology at the right moment, right? So it's always tricky and a combination of different elements. So again, coming back to your question, it's about the digital. Of course, we cannot just forget about digital, but it's still, and hopefully it will, about humans and personal relationships, right? I am so proud to be a friend of Mr. Lee here in the call for many, many years. Yeah, that's how we like to, at least from our perspective, to embrace our journey. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
We have another question from Mrs. Seong Ho Lee. Have you thought about community connection online with other countries?
Yeah, of course. Of course. This is one of our, I would say, key areas when it comes to the crowdsourcing part, right? And I think we have initiated this process with TEKTiTE and with others. And again, digital will facilitate, but at the end of the day, it's also connecting these communities with communities that really embrace this journey from the same perspective, right? Sharing the value, really understanding where the real value is when it comes to facilitate a collaboration between a company and a startup, or a company and a university with a venture fund. So of course, this is super important for us. I think one of our unique value propositions is the online part, but it's open, right? So I invite you to sign up on innogate.com and try it out by yourself. And again, no doubt that I will be following up with all of you after this call.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jordi.
Welcome.
We move on to our next speaker. We've already heard from a question from him, but now we'll see their presentation. Mr. Peter Magliorossi, our friend from Hungary. Please, go ahead.
Thank you so much. And Liza, please share my presentation. First of all, I would like to thank for the organizers to invite me to this very prestigious panel. And it is always a great pleasure to work with colleagues from the same branch, from the same community. And I believe that we have a lot to say to each other. So next slide, please. The company Elsino Consult was founded in 1992, so we have more than 30 years existence on the market. We have, as you can see, a lot of international cooperation in most of the developed countries, and we have a very precious collaboration with our dear Korean partner, TEKTiTE Korea. We had some very interesting actions together, and business mission as well. So we are located in the knowledge hub of Hungary in Szeged. Next slide, please. We have mainly European big projects in commercialization of R&D results. We have been a partner in 11 Horizon projects, mainly as a workplace leader responsible for exploitation, as it is said in Brussels English, but it is mainly commercialization. But we also provided external consultancy service for more than 80 projects. Other main activity in commercialization is technology transfer, which is mainly licensing out. But we had also some licensing in assignments, as well as some great technology scouting projects. We also provide IP valuation services, as well as market analysis. Next slide, please. We also work with startup ecosystems. We are co-founders of two organizations. One is a creative accelerator, which is a Hungarian early stage pre-seed investor company in life sciences. Currently, we have more than 20 startups on our portfolio in mainly medtech, but also some other technologies. We are a co-founder of Steinbei's Global Accelerator India, which is a consortium supporting Indian startups in business development. I used to work as a key expert in a big Turkish project, which is to develop the deep tech startup ecosystem of Izmir city. We also work as a mentor in several organizations, like several organizations like EIT, European Institute of Innovation and Technology, as well as some venture capital companies. We're always happy to share our knowledge with various smaller communities, entrepreneurs, researchers, decision makers, and our training courses cover various fields of innovation management, commercialization activities, and Horizon Europe topics. So this is what we have been doing in the last more than 3 decades. We strongly believe in international cooperation. As you can see, our activities are really global. Horizon Europe is mainly focusing on Europe, but also we have some out of Europe partners from China, from India, and from some other overseas countries. And of course, startup ecosystem technology transfer is always a global activity. So, sorry, we are always happy to work with old friends as well as work to establish new cooperations. So, next slide, please. And here are just some examples of the technologies which are available from our technology transfer portfolio. One of the most popular, or I would say the most popular technology, what we have currently is a waste to value technology. And this is how to transform wastewater sewage sludge to solid recovery fuel. And the beauty of the technology, the solid recovered fuel is partially used to fuel an oven or a boiler, which will provide a hot air for drying the next batch of the sludge. And currently, we have a very strong interest from India, especially from Bangalore. We have a negotiation with a company to set up some equipments there, and we have also very strong interest from the US. We have a joint project with University of Illinois. This technology is available for licensing or even to set up a joint venture, as many of the parts it is better to produce it locally because it has no use to ship bulky components, and shipping air is not the best option. Next slide, please. Yeah, here are some details. I don't want to go to the details. Next slide, please. This is a very special technology. This is called explosive cladding for electrical industry. This technology enables to weld together. It's not really welding, but to make a joint or bimetal or even more complex structures from any type of metal sheets or even metal ceramic connections. The basic principle of this cladding is that you put together the two layers. Again, it could be whatever metals, even the ones which in principle cannot be welded. And then you put specially designed explosives, micro explosives on that, and then you make the explosion, and the shock wave will make the interface sliding into each other, making a very, very strong bond, which is strong not only mechanically, but also allowing almost zero resistance transition. Next slide, please. Yeah, here are some examples. It could be copper, steel, aluminum, copper, aluminum, steel, or even superconducting metals and copper connections, which is very important for strong magnets. Next slide, please. This is currently the fastest 3D mapping system. It's a camera system put on a drone and taking pictures, and then it makes almost instant 3D imaging of a surface. Next slide, please. Well, it can have many applications in mining industry, in oil and gas, urban planning, flood management, even in film industry or AR, VR. So many application fields. We already on the way to enter the US market, but we are open to enter other markets as well. Next slide, please. This is one of my beloved technology. This is a pressurized foam fire protection for oil tanks. A burning oil tank is a really serious disaster, environmentally, economically, and it is very dangerous even for the firefighters. And a big tank can burn from 3 to 5 days, causing serious damage. And this technology is a very simple one, having no human intervention, no need for electric supply, no need of water supply, and it can extinguish the fire within 1 minute. Next slide, please. So here it is, a test picture, as a picture of the test experiment. You could see a fully burning 500 square meter gasoline fire tank. The tank on fire. Then within 25 seconds, there is no flame, no smoke at all. This is a very powerful technology, especially in tank farms in ports, for example, or in refineries. This is a fantastic technology. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is an air disinfection device which was developed during the pandemic times. It is indoor disinfection system. It uses, of course, UV light, and it's a very efficient way. And currently, the system was introduced to the public transport, buses and trams, as air disinfection within the vehicles, and now we have an interest to introduce it to aeroplane ventilation systems. This is again available for licensing or eventually distribution. Next slide, please.
Peter, we're just a bit short on time. Would you be able to let us know where can our audience and us will be able to see the offers and opportunities through your system?
On our website as well as on InnoGet website.
Wonderful. If you could share the links later in the chat, that would be most helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we can go to the end because I think that was the last one. Next one, please.
This is the last slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the last. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you. We have many other great technologies, and we are in negotiation with some new ones. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you for the presentation. I went over and reviewed your organization prior to the panel. Can I ask you the emphasis that your organization puts on education and training? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I would say this is more a side product, and this is more about sharing our experience. So our training is not really a training, but it is more like, for example, we are invited to university to tell to researchers the pros and cons or the hurdles and the great opportunities of commercializing their research results. So this is one typical case that how to educate researchers about commercialization or startup companies, the hurdles of how to get funding, private funding, public funding, and how to do business development and so on and so on. So, but all these things are based not on textbooks, but based on our daily practice.
I see. Thank you. And last but not least, before we move to our next speaker, oh, sorry, I see Mr. Raffles has a question. We'll continue with Jordi, please.
Yes, thanks. It's a short one. I know you, and Peter, thanks for the trust. I'm posting on InnoGet for such a long time. And thanks for the presentation, super interesting as always. I know you are experts in the European landscape for public funding, Horizon programs. We are currently involved in developing one project which is called InduSAC, where we foster collaboration between industry and students by providing third-party funding. We have €1 million to spend and to provide for these co-development projects. How do you think the European Commission should be developing or fostering this collaboration, these Horizon programs, to make them more accessible or more easy to handle? How do you foresee it?
Well, I am halfway skeptic, halfway very optimistic. I think if I want to describe my opinion, then we can have another hour and a full session to that. So it is a very complex system, and certain components are very well designed, while other components are really, I should say, that designed by bureaucrats sitting behind a desk and have never been to real life.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Yeah, that fully answers the question, I believe. And we have another question about the last technology that you shared by Mr. Holly. Just briefly, can the foam fire technology apply also to wildfire?
There is an experimental project on that on wildfire, but the technology is not fully developed.
Thank you. Okay, well, that's what we're here for. Open innovation.
So it could be like TRL-7. Could be like TRL-7.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. So as I said, I'm continuing your optimistic state of mind. So there is still more to work for. And Mr. Hawley says that he has already has an interest in the industry and also in the air disinfection tech. We have another question by Mr. Martin Sornes, and I hope I'm saying the surname correctly. Is the technology for disinfectant that you showed earlier that's already active in public buses, in public transport, is it applicable for hospitals as well?
Not the first one what I showed, but the one what was in my slideshow, but I did not have time to elaborate on it. That is that is really designed for hospitals, especially so the origin of the technology is to disinfect mattresses and to disinfect mattresses in hotels, and then later on it turned out that mattresses is not only problem in the hotels, because there is a cleaning routine in hospitals as well as in hotels to clean everything except mattresses. And this company developed a special disinfection technology for mattresses, but of course, any other solid surfaces can be disinfected, like floors or walls and whatever other solid surface.
Thank you, Peter. That's very helpful. And thank you for the presentation and for our panel members for their questions. I would like to point out, for the sake of our audience looking at watching through YouTube and other platforms that TEKTiTE Korea has published the event in, notice how the industry and organizations leader, how fluent they are in the technologies, how fluent they are in the needs and the applications. I think that is a very important thing to highlight, because it shows you the value of working with organizations that promote open innovation. It requires a deeper understanding of the technology, a deeper understanding of the applications, whereas when you see something online, just someone trying to sell something or someone trying to making a request and an inquiry about technology, then it's very partial. So again, another reason to utilize the organizations. The event, like any event that has global aspirations, would be remiss having not, if it doesn't have participants from around the world, and especially from the US. I think it's very important that we see the international collaboration. And with that in mind, I want to invite Mr. Michael McNeely from Mako Labs to present his organization and discuss potential collaboration with the family. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody's comments. This is really a learning experience for me, because this is the first time I'm presenting Mako Labs in an open innovation format. And I appreciate Delta Tech Korea in giving me this opportunity. So I am from the US. Currently, I'm in Thailand, which is second home for me, or perhaps now my primary home. But my operations are in the United States, and I will be very active there moving forward. So Mako Labs, it might be where many of you or many of your organizations started 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Just getting started in the open innovation. I've been a consultant in the past, but for the last 10 or 15 years have been more in the corporate sphere, and I'm now returning to consulting activities and consulting in specific technology or business areas, but also expanding into the concept of open innovation that is kind of moving outside my core area of expertise. Many of the comments that have been made really are appropriate for how I think Mako Labs as a consulting group and as an open innovation group can contribute to the market area and the service area that we've been describing. So as I mentioned here on this slide, my primary focus is in healthcare, but that will be expanding as time goes on. The reason it's healthcare is because that's where my career has been for the last many years. I'm trying to figure out how to advance this slide.
Sorry, Michael, we seem to have...
There we go. Great.
Can you repeat the last sentence?
I'm sorry? Okay, I'll just move forward. So
The last sentence.
my last sentence, hopefully we're still, I'm having some internet.
I think Arne Wishtan is a little bit problem with the connection because his camera is frozen. So I think you can move on.
Sure, sure. I'm happy to share these slides and have discussions with each of you individually or as a group later on. But just moving on with what I have here, the focus of Mako Labs, both with the healthcare, but also moving forward in other areas, is in the decentralization of technologies, products, and services. Or mentioned this at the very beginning of his introduction. The geopolitical uncertainties that exist in today's environment, from my perspective, kind of emphasize the need to decentralize services, products, in order to allow for more resilient societies and communities. Another term that was used was democratization of services. Those, I think, are two really important components of how we as an open innovation group can help the market adapt to the changing world environment. From the area of decentralization, my activities, my interests, coming from a technology, I'm by my core as a technologist, but also involved in business. From the technology perspective of where I think I can contribute and understand the different applications in healthcare is in the areas such as artificial intelligence and clinical practice, point of care diagnostics, biosensors and tools that aid in vitro diagnostic testing. And from that perspective, my current partners include my previous company, Agatico, which has a technology for separating liquid plasma from blood from a finger stick for point of care diagnostics. And then also now starting to work with Delta Tech Korea. And initially in an AI software company, but also looking at other opportunities. So I know many of you have spoken about your organization. Unfortunately, my organization is small. It's myself currently. And so I'll be providing some background of myself. Really, I am a technologist with a background in material science, microfluidics, bioengineering is where my degree is. A former founder of a couple of companies. And so when you talk about experience, I've gone through the ropes multiple times. And so the services that I can offer as a consultant really focus on things such as early stage companies. Have been around the block a few times in dealing with investors, writing business plans, raising funding, growing a company from a single person to a couple dozen people, licensing and a whole host of different activities associated with growing and promoting products and technologies to worldwide sales. So Mako Labs' initial activities are in the service areas specifically for early stage companies, business strategy and planning, business development, intellectual property guidance, general business promotion, basically helping Western companies access Eastern markets and Eastern companies gain access into Western markets. I appreciate the fact that I'm the only participant here from the US. And I hope because of the ability to move and to travel and to be located in a couple of different continents, that I can provide some services to all of you in accessing US markets and perhaps other areas and access or meeting with people in person, whether in Europe or in Asia, to have a more personable interaction with peoples and companies and groups. The company Mako Labs is headquartered in Murrieta, California. That's a little bit north of San Diego, a little bit south east of Los Angeles at a place called the Murrieta Innovation Center. The Murrieta Innovation Center is an interesting organization. It's not really in a technology hub center of any kind, but it's actually kind of centrally located among a few different tech hubs, such as San Diego in the south, which is a big biotech hub, and then Los Angeles, which has, of course, multiple different industries, early stage industries, as well as very established industries. The Murrieta Innovation Center has recently received multi-million-dollar grants from the United States federal government, as well as California state governments, that they're going to be renovating their facilities to provide pretty significant services and facilities for things like a clean room, a genome research center, and other types of services and infrastructure to be able to support early stage companies. Currently, there's the Murrieta Genome Center that provides startup companies the ability to do next generation sequencing types of research at a very low price level. So it's quite unique in that regard. Moving forward, as I mentioned, my focus currently is in healthcare, but expanding that, another interesting thing about Murrieta is the very strong healthcare environment that exists there, healthcare collaborative environment, a lot of new hospitals, medical centers, physician groups starting up there. They're not research hospitals, as most people might be familiar with when you're trying to implement new technologies, but they are physician groups that I'm hoping ultimately to be able to kind of recruit many of them to form some type of test bedding of different AI types of software systems to help companies in the innovation sphere, the early stage companies, to be able to do some test bedding, get some feedback, perhaps ultimately be able to get access to imagery and other things to help their AI systems learn to form that type of a collaboration. We do see tremendous growth, including in healthcare in the Middle East, seeing many opportunities for companies that have existing products to be able to grow and expand there. And then expanding beyond healthcare, the one thing I really appreciated about the TEKTiTE program is being exposed to multiple other technology areas outside of healthcare. And I've seen a lot, I've learned a lot, I've become quite excited about some of the technologies and companies that were presented in the last few days. But I have a core interest in clean energy, clean water, access to clean energy, access to clean water, and then also edutech. And again, a core theme of these things is decentralization of these types of services. So that's my presentation. Thank you for listening. And I will, in the chat, just give my LinkedIn profile. Some of you have already reached out to connect with me. I appreciate that. And I'm happy to connect with all of you and have follow-up discussions later. Thanks very much.
Thank you for the presentation. Again, it's good to have partners from the US in an event like this, regardless of the size. I'm very curious about one element of your organization and entity. I saw you shared the details in the chat. Thank you for that. So Michael, you've been active in the industry for quite some time. You've done well. You opened and founded a few companies, and you moved on to consulting. What was it about open innovation that you decided to tackle this type of framework? With everything that you have already, the market research, the business development, the founding expertise, all of the accumulated experience that you have, what draws you also to open innovation in the sense that you think it added something on its own to your business and to your aspirations?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I would say that it has a lot to do with my career experience in that the last few companies that I've been involved with have had technologies that were really just components of a bigger system. And so in and of itself, the key technology is valuable, but it really needs partnership. It really needs out licensing. It needs to have a bigger ecosystem in order to be able to really benefit from the value that it brings. Just if you, an example, I mentioned the plasma separation technology that is great. It has some value in and of itself, but really what you need is a full, complete diagnostic product. You know, one that gives, you have a sample and you get an answer, you get a diagnosis of a condition. And that requires the partnership, the growth, the combination of multiple factors, multiple companies, groups working together to be able to, you know, really exploit the value of that technology. And so that's why I think open innovation and the ability to share and communicate, especially around this theme of decentralization, to be able to get ideas that can then be kind of nurtured and congeal into a product. Many times those pieces are scattered all over the world and need to get brought together. So that's the motivation.
Thank you, Michael. I think, you know, on your second sentence, you already touched on a very philosophical idea that came to mind. When is the industry complete? When is the product complete? And I think the answer is it's endless, because once you start to develop things with a mindset of open innovation, you can find so many more applications, find so many more partnerships. And again, thank you for the perfect answer as far as I'm concerned. And thank you again for the presentation. So, Geisa, you have a question, please?
Yes, yes. Just for a compliment for my presentation, I would like to ask what is the collaborative or ideal partner that you are looking for, or something that it might be a complement for, or something that it's like what kind of partner you are looking and who you want to work with. I think since we have some companies here and some people watching, you might be interested to complement your presentation with this information.
Well, I can give you a you know, a philosophical answer again, like what Or was saying, or I could give you a more practical, more honest answer perhaps. And that is, since I'm just getting started, I've seen a lot of what's being offered here on a success basis, success type of arrangements. And that only goes so far, right? Ultimately, there does need to be some fee for service type of exchange, and that's kind of there's plenty of success fee opportunities, and I do hope to pursue those. But I'm also looking for, in order to be able to continue with this and to grow and to expand. Some of you have mentioned, and I've seen multiple opportunities for funded open innovation ecosystems through the EU framework or some other framework. I'm not there yet. Mako Labs is not there yet. So it's a matter of how I can generate some consulting revenue in the near term to be able to then have the resources to start pulling things together. Is kind of what I'm looking for right now.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for your honest answer. We do not want to, open innovation is very hypothetical at times, very theoretical. We want things that are practical more than anything. So thank you again. And our last speaker for the panel, our distinguished host from TEKTiTE Korea. I'm honored to invite the CEO of TEKTiTE Korea, Mr. Seong-Ho Lee, to take the stage and lead the presentation.
Oh, thank you, moderators. Can I share my slide? Just now, do you see my slide?
Yes, but not in presenter mode. Yeah.
All right, I like this out. All right, thank you, everybody. Most of them are my old friends. And today I've seen two new friends. Welcome to DBN. Today I'd like to talk about digital technology opportunity in Korea. I just made a copy from GBI, from India. Okay, the phrase. All right, let's talk about TEKTiTE. TEKTiTE is a spin-off company from TEKTiTE International US. In the year 2000, almost 24 years ago. And it's, time flies, I think. And TEKTiTE is organized to facilitate the transfer and commercialization of newly developed technologies and to assist emerging technology companies in obtaining the business relationship they need to build for their target growth. Thus, our mission is set as change technology into market. Delta means change, and tech, change tech into market internationally. That is our mission at the moment. In this regard, that TEKTiTE covers the principal business line, export marketing management, and technology licensing and surveillance, as you do, and soft landing services for foreign startups. Also, as you know, I just started set up a TBN television network the year 2021. I'll tell you this later on. Yeah, at the President of Network Korea, also a representative of ITT China, it's International Technology Transfer Network from China, also a representative of Foresight from US. So today I'd like to introduce you two technologies. One is a multimedia learning system for brain function improvement. As you know, across the globe, aging society is a buzzword thanks to the longevity of human lifespan. You can see more elderly people in a subway, particularly in Seoul. However, elderly people are especially vulnerable to loneliness and social isolation, which leads to depression and dementia or a serious decline of physical health. Thus, local community centers provide elderly people with singing group or book club or bridge game, bingo game, and a quiz night and Facebook. What is challenging in dealing with older people is that broad range of ages within our elderly communities. Elderly communities are varying from early ages, the ages 65 to 74, and middle phases 75 to 84, and final phases over 85. So according to such various age groups, there are vastly different requests from each participant in an elderly communities. A survey shows us 66% of elderly people think that their community centers do not meet their customized needs, particularly their programs do not help them gear socialization because they feel very lonely. So what you have, the technology is that it's the multimedia learning system. At present, many older people have got used to utilizing new digital technologies, device, and application in their everyday life. In this context, a serious game based on socializing tool using digital device can be a solution to cope with such unmet needs for elderly people. The technology, multimedia system for brain function improvement, operates in the form of a table with a touch screen and Android operating system on the surface, which constitute cognitive improvement content, I would say CIC, and visual conception cognitive test, I would say XVPCT. CIC comes with 48 types of cognitive function analyzing program to gear up creativity and comprehensive thinking. And XVPCT shows users the result of a cognitive test with areas of overall thinking abilities and stressing the deficit area of a test subject. In addition, the rich educational contents are designed to develop the problem solving and the metacognitive ability. And the training course contains solid figures, mathematics, and reasoning perception, etc. Analysis result provides to compensate for vulnerable subject. The technology is currently reached to TRA, formed as I said, table form series game, which 4 people can play together. And currently the brand name of the product is ThinQ Table. Complying with the community group needs, the digital content can be operated on a subscription basis and consequently updated. Now I'm looking for value-added resellers in the healthcare sectors or welfare service firms for the elderly, and public procurement vendors for elderly welfare products. And let me show this another one, just one. That's a vacuum system simulation and design software. As you know, a vacuum is the state filtered impurities out of air. A vacuum is necessary for making quality filtered product in manufacturing side, such as a semiconductor and display and battery, solar and thin film, etc. The vacuum status is made from a couple of gadgets configured with chambers, pipes, gauges, and more, which is called vacuum system. Thus, the configuration of pipes and vacuum pipes and chambers is the key concern to fix installation and operation cost for the durable years. Overcapacity system takes you to spend high investment costs, which results in unnecessary maintenance costs and utility power consumption. Thus, in this context, a simulation software for vacuum system could be one of the best ways to predict the performance of the system to be installed and ensure if it meets the vacuum requirements. You can also improve pipe conductance or downsize the pump for more suitable capacity, which results in increasing overall system efficiency and reducing power consumption and carbon emissions. Feedback is the brand name of the product. Feedback allows users to find the optimized configuration of pipe structure and vacuum pump selection. It featured 3D modeling visualization and performance prediction and evaluation, and stimulating any configured cases on SaaS basis. Now I'm looking for manufacturing companies in semiconductors, display and battery and thin film, and vacuum equipment suppliers, vacuum pump suppliers, and vacuum pipe constructors. So if you know anybody in your areas and vacuum equipment suppliers, please let me know. And thirdly, let me talk about our DBM. Now today, the GBI operates, got the GTI, and my old friend, get operates, get an open innovation platform. That they just start DBM 2021, just 4 years ago. So, and I'll tell you the background. As you know, since 2000, open innovation market has been growing, thanks to open innovation intermediaries. So open innovation intermediaries plays a pivoting role between innovation seekers and solution providers. They build bridges to fill the information gap, helping business modeling and brokering a transaction, and funding and supporting for the innovation outcomes. They help facilitate licensing and selling IP transaction and venture creation, operating startup acceleration program, and collaborating with global enterprises for joint commercialization efforts. However, we are always exposed to some risks of perceived conflict among stakeholders or information breakdown. and missing or frayed relationships, and particularly the burden of transaction costs, such as travel and labor costs, and the handling charge when we work for our corporate clients. In this regard, TEKTiTE has set up DBN as a business network of open innovation intermediaries. Intermediaries, as I said, 2021. DBN is a virtual marketplace to support the open innovation process by facilitating collaboration and knowledge sharing between open innovation market players. In particular, DBN aims to allow open innovation intermediaries for initiating R&I projects together, posting technology profiles, holding online workshops like this one, and sharing business opportunity and best practices. Currently, DBN engages 17 network partners in operating the platform together. My vision is to build a strong open innovation intermediary community internationally. So I'd like to invite you. We are all my partners so far, but I'd like to invite other new network partners. And if you have any interest to DBN, then I'm open to anybody, and we can come up to do research and innovation project together. So Michael, you have done this one with TEKTiTE, and I know Peter, you have done some project with TTI, that is international. So that kind of project, I just call it a research and innovation project. So amongst our members. Thank you. If you have a question on DBN and other two technology offers, I welcome your question.
Thank you, Mr. Seong-Ho Lee, for the presentation. If it's possible to stop the screen sharing.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Now, I saved, I think, the most general and challenging question for you, Mr. Lee. Because TEKTiTE Korea is growing, creating more partnerships around the world, and simultaneously developing the DBN and developing platforms for online communication between enterprises, businesses, organizations, and so on. So we'll go back to the initial question for this event. What, in the days that knowledge and information are available for everyone, what is the purpose and significance of having the organizations and not only the platforms, the business opportunity platform, the open innovation platforms? What is the significance of the distinguished organizations that we see here today?
I mean, from the perspective of TEKTiTE or our communities?
Both. What I mean is companies nowadays, they can Google, they can connect each other very easily. One of the main challenges is the reliability. So I'm going to put that aside because organizations like ours help with the reliability of the opportunities and the companies behind them. So that plays a pivotal part, I think, and I already stole some of your possible answers. But why is it important to have all these intermediary entities on the way between companies wanting to work together?
I think other participants can answer this question, this critical question. Yeah, but from the way I see it is that without, particularly from Korea and other countries, without middlemen, we are middlemen, facilitators, it's very hard to create some deal because due to some language barrier or cultural issues or they don't have any transaction cost as well. So if they hire intermediary like us, then intermediary help them, intermediary help to bridge the gap, and then they bring our corporate client to the destination of any country. And that's for one of my philosophy or my approach. For the big enterprises like Google, in Korea, some Samsung and some Hyundai and big enterprises. They just a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, they just started to open their gate, and they started to set up some department for open innovation department managers. Also, they just set up CVC as well, corporate venture capital, in the name of their company. And also they started to cooperate with the startups and open their doors in R&D sectors. So they want to meet some startup or some technology providers, and they want to get some insight from outside their boundaries. So that is why they need intermediate as well. But sometimes they want to hide their name. They want to hide behind us. So we they need our services. Maybe Jordi and Peter can add to my answers. What do you think?
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Yeah, we'd be happy to open the question to our panel. The significance of the open innovation entities in a world where information is free and accessible to all. And I gotta say, when you use the word philosophy, Mr. Lee, I really appreciated that more than anything before we move on to Jordi, because it is a mindset, it is a viewpoint. It is not, let me see how I can persuade my potential client that I can give them value. But it is an understanding of how companies work and what they actually need in the international market. So thank you for your answer.
Yeah, I can give another example. This year, speaking of TEKTiTE, there are about eight global companies took part in TEKTiTE, and if you go to TEKTiTE platform, like SICK or Swatch from Switzerland, or even higher from China, and they show us what technology they need like that. So they start open, and as a facilitator, we just we just have global companies in tap into outside R&D results through intermediaries. So it's the open innovation market is growing. I feel on the spot now. I feel it now.
Thank you again. And I think Mr. Harsha and Michael touched on it earlier, the understanding of the industries and being able to identify the demands. That is a pivotal role, absolutely. Jordi, would you like to add?
Yeah, well, thank you, and thank you, Mr. Lee, because I know we are. I consider we are friends for many years, right? And if the question is about the role of intermediaries in the online space, in this digital kind of new wave that we are all facing, I'd like to share with all you guys how did we meet, right? It was just sharing a coffee in an event in Barcelona. We start talking, right? And since then, it was almost 15 years ago. We have been connected, so time flies, as you have just mentioned. So coming back to the question, it's like, I mean, when we started in 2000, it was like everything was closed, right? So companies, organizations were working in silos, very competitive. And now, if you look into different parts of the economy and society, there's multiple voices and processes, which includes the word open science, open data, open source. There's a lot of talking about inclusion, diversity, collaboration. So it means that the fear that we faced after we initiated the business, that this would become a buzzword, it's over, right? So open innovation is a game on every kind of single organization. Most of them, or many of them, not most, but many of them, they still don't know how to embrace it, right? They still don't know how to define open innovation, whether it's going to be something like to launch some pre-releases, or it's something that they really want to embrace as a strategic kind of element of the innovation management process. So with that in mind, I mean, we had been kind of thinking about what's going to be the next step for a company such as ours when it comes to connecting people. And honestly speaking, it's not clear yet for us, right? Because there's a lot of technologies available like blockchain, smart contracts, artificial intelligence, but you know that technologies and our businesses are always driven by the appetite of the market to kind of go for one technology or another one, right? So if I should have to ask the question about what's next in the open innovation scene, I would focus my view on how to set up communities and manage and drive these communities. So either a community of communities, such as the one that we are now here in this call, or companies driving their own and connecting those communities to other relevant and impactful communities. That's what I would say, not just pointing it into technology, because technology at the end is developing, a lot of noise about ChatGPT, etc. But I would focus my view on how to better build communities and make them much more efficient. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with Jonathan's opinion. Nowadays, without community, if you have set up some strong community, we can reduce transaction cost, like us, and then we disseminate some business intelligence amongst ourselves, and then in that case, we make some consortium, and apply for some lead, some like government tender or something like that, and then we make some R&I project that there could be POC project or some export marketing project or some joint R&D project or joint licensing project. We can make that kind of various projects. So that is why. This kind of community, I strongly believe this kind of community will help construct that kind of consortium or a certain project.
I perfectly agree, of course. I think, again, Mr. Lee, what you touched on earlier, bridging the gap, and I've connected to what you just said, it's saving costs. Often the organizations and the intermediaries are perceived as expenses, often unnecessary expenses. Why do I need to pay someone on the way to connect me to bring me to where I want to go? And you need to explain to the potential customers the amount of expenses and the costs that you might have if you don't utilize experts in bridging those gaps. Mr. Lee mentioned the cultural gaps. We spoke about the gaps in understanding the demand, and also, as we heard from Akolab earlier, the understanding of the potential of the industry. What else can we do with the product and with the technology? We often tell FICC members, we are not a lead generation entity, and we are not precisely a business development entity that's going to take you hand by hand into closing a contract. But our specialty in maintaining these relationships and having open channels instead of a company needing to open it from scratch, one time for this technology, another time for this technology, and one time for this sector, and then for different fields. We maintain these partnerships in order to enable these types of collaboration, the development of communities, and narrowing the gaps that Mr. Lee mentioned earlier. Please, Peter, you wanted to add.
Yes, it's a very, very interesting topic in many, many aspects. I don't want to touch upon the open innovation because that is, I think, all of us, we understand the importance and that it is growing. And this is, by the end, what we live on. But what I wanted to discuss a little bit more, the importance of platforms and beyond. So these platforms are very, very important. As we can see already in this panel, people are sitting in distances which in earlier times we could not cover. But now these online platforms, and not only these conferences and these Zoom or Meet or Teams or whatever platform, but also platforms like Inoget and a couple of others allow us to connect. So this is really important. And what the lockdown period revealed us, this is much more important than we thought before, that this is really a global connecting opportunity. But why I mentioned that platforms and beyond. Platforms are nice, but impersonal. So I can tell you that I have a good relationship with our friends in Delta Tech Korea because we shared personal experience. We shared some great food in Szeged. We shared some great food in Seoul. With Jordi, we had some nice chats in some conferences. So these and in many geographical areas, especially in the Middle East and Far East, where business starts, trust. And through digital platforms, you cannot build trust. Through screen, yeah, you can start building trust. But the real trust starts when you physically meet, you chat, share a glass of wine, or share a good dinner together. This is where real business starts. And this is why we had more than a decade a good relationship with Miss Ali and with Jordi, and because we had our physical collaboration, we met each other. So this, and there are some physiological effects behind that. So it's not only because we think, because dopamine is liberated when you meet physically. On the screen, it does not. So yes, full stop. I can talk about that for a half an hour.
No, thank you, Peter. We have that is a very interesting insight, especially again in the world where new technologies are replacing more and more of the workforce. Then even more so, this insight of face-to-face, person-to-person communication is crucial. Jordi, I see you have more remarks, but we've extended the time period and we don't want to lose our audience, so we'll need to find another opportunity to continue the discussion. Just to wrap everything up, thank you so much to our contributors, to the presenters who offered their questions, their insights, the descriptions of the organizations. I have to say again, from reviewing the profiles in preparation for the event, what I found initially, my first reaction was, we are all doing the same thing. And the more I read, it was fascinating to see the distinguishing characteristics between every organization. One also does patents, another one also does a community management, another one does training, another one works with all over the world, all over the industries all over the world, another one is focused as an expert in medical technologies and digital health. So it was very interesting to see that in spite of the fact that there are more and more players in this field of business development, in open innovation, everybody can still find their own expertise, their own place where they specialize and can provide great specialty value to their members, to their clients. And what better way to finish the event and to finish TEKTiTE by seeing the ongoing collaboration, the past collaboration, more than 15 years of collaboration. I am relatively new to the collaboration, only 2 years now. And with that in mind, I'd like to thank Ms. Heisa for organizing, not only facilitating the panel, but leading TEKTiTE 2024 on behalf of Delta Tech Korea this year. I think I speak for all of us saying that you've done incredible work. I speak on behalf of our members and companies as well, who had the opportunity to participate in the panels and workshops earlier this week. We commend you, Faisal, for a wonderful job, and to Mr. Lee, of course, for allowing us and giving us the opportunity to meet, to discuss, to share ideas, to share our pain points as well, to talk about our advantages and the added value that we can give to one another and to our clients. So again, thank you all very, very much. We look forward to seeing you next year, talking about different industries, talking more about the macro level of open innovation. Mr. Lee, did you want to add something for a conclusion?
No. I want to just give you a big hand. Mr. Nestan did a great job to take care of the moderate today. Thank you very much, Nestan. Okay.
You're very kind. Thank you all very much. We'll see you again next year.
Thank
See
you
you
so
soon.
much. Thank you so much, all of you, for the
Thank you, everybody.
time to giving the presentation here. And yes, see you next year, hopefully.
Thanks,
Bye bye.
See you next year.